Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Harakah, Kadash, double honors unto the apostles and the elders of great millstone who rule well, and shalom to the whole full elect. It's a biblical commentary in the book of Joshua, the 18th chapter, and it reads, And the whole congregation of the children of Israel assembled together at Shiloh, and set up the tabernacle of the congregation there, and the land was subdued before them. Now, Shiloh being a capital city in the land of Ephraim, fittingly being situated there because due to the fact that Joshua um, was the head over the nation, so it only made sense that it be positioned in the land. All right, but funnily enough, him being an Ephraimite, who really the lot of firstborn was to befall upon, really got past. Shiloh was mentioned in the book of Genesis actually when it comes to blessings being handed out, and it tells you that the scepter shall not depart until Shiloh comes, which basically was for the tribe of Judah. And funny enough, the Shiloh that for to come was basically Yahweh Shai, which Joshua had the same namesake as. So fittingly in the spirit, it was a sign, but then really to befall upon the tribe of Judah in the time of the Roman Empire. You know, so reading on. And there remained among the children of Israel 7 tribes which had not yet received their inheritance. And Joshua said unto the children of Israel, How long are you slack to go to possess the land which the Lord power of your fathers have given you? So basically, Joshua was saying, look man, you lot got a blessing that's really sitting there for you, and you're meant to go make a way of going about to get. But the thing is that they didn't do. They basically were slacking doing it, which reminds me of Haggai, the first chapter, about them basically caring about building their own houses as opposed to really building up the Lord's house, which basically sat there desolate. And that's where it says Haggai 1 and 6 about you bring in much, but it goeth out like your pockets, basically like putting money in a pocket with a hole in, because the blessing wasn't, actually going to them. It was just disappearing after they got it. Reading on. Give out from among you 3 men for each tribe, and I will send them, and they shall rise and go through the land and describe it according to the inheritance of them, and they shall come again to me, and they shall divide it into 7 parts. Judah shall abide in their coasts on the south, and the house of Joseph shall abide in their coasts on the north. Ye shall therefore describe the land into 7 parts, and bring the description ever to me, that I may cast lots for you here before the Lord our power. But the Levites shall have no part among you, for the priesthood of the Lord is their inheritance. And that's been mentioned many times over the course of this book. And Gad and Reuben and half tribe and Manasseh have received their inheritance beyond Jordan on the east, which Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave them. Yeah, so everyone had it. So basically, uh, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Ephraim, Judah. 5 of the 12 tribes have basically received their blessing, but the rest were waiting to find theirs. And Levi wasn't included as a tribe, and back then you had Dan as a tribe, basically. Alright. And the men arose and went away, and Joshua charged them that went to describe the land, saying, Go and walk through the land and describe it, and come again to me, that I may here cast lots for you before the Lord in Shiloh. And the men went and passed through the land and described it by cities into 7 parts in a book, and came again to Joshua to host at Shiloh. So they were writing back then. Alright. Mind you, the first 5 books were scribed by Joshua scribed, Moses scribes at the time. Okay. So reading on. And Joshua cast lots for them in Shiloh before the Lord, and Joshua divided the land unto the children of Israel according according to their divisions. So basically, the lots, it was divided by the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Bashem Harakah Kadash. Why? Because to basically move away from man's um, you know lustful lives, as to where someone might say, I want this, I want that, but the Lord already ordained that, look, you're gonna have this, you're gonna have that, and we're gonna partition it in accordance. And that's really with dealing with the spirit as well. Everyone's bestowed a portion, a lot, all right, and you can't exceed the measure of faith that you've been given and the different talents that you have been bestowed upon you, because that's from the Heavenly Father on high, because He knows, you know, what is favorable unto your spirit, what, and that will allow you to um, be content within this word, and be profitable, basically. And a lot of the children of Benjamin came up according to their families, and the coast of them lot, of their lot, came forth between the children of Judah and the children of Joseph. So they basically had a portion that was between Judah and Joseph. All right, and their border on the north side was from Jordan, and the border went up to the side of Jericho on the north side, and went up through the mountains westward, and the goings out there were the wilderness of Beth Aven, and the border went over from thence toward Luz, to the side of Luz, which is Bethel, southward to the border, descended to Ataroth Adar, near the hill that lieth on the south side of the Never, Beth Horon. And the border was drawn thence, and compassed the corner of the sea southward from the hill that lieth before Beth Horon southward, and the goings out thereof were Kiriath Baal, which is Kiriath Yerim, a city of the children of Judah. This was the west quarter, and the south quarter was from the end of Kiriath Yerim, and the border went out on the west, and the west out to the well, the waters of Nephtoah, and the border came down to the end of the mountain that lieth before the valley of the son of Hinnom, and which is the valley of the giants of the north, and ascended to the valley of Hinnom, to the side of Jebus on the south, and ascended to Enrogel, and was drawn from the north, and went forth to Enesh En Shemesh, and went forth toward Gileoth, which is over against the going up of Adumim, and descended to the stone of Boan the son of Reuben, and passed along toward the side over against Arabah northward, and went down to Arabah, and the border passed along the side of Beth Hoglah northward, and the outgoings of the border went at the north bay of the Salt Sea, at the south end of Jordan. This was the south coast, and Jordan was border of it. On the east side, this was the inheritance of the children of Benjamin by coast thereof round about according to their families. Now the cities of the tribe of the children of Benjamin according to their families were Jericho, Beth Hoglah, the valley of Kezez, and Beth Rabbi, and Zim Arim, and Bethel, so and Avim, and Parah, and Ophrah, and Sephar, Hamamona, Nai, and Ophni, and Gabal, 12 cities with their villages, Gibeon, and Ramah, and Beeroth, and Mizpah, and Cheph Irah, and Mozah, and Rekim, and Erpil, and Taralah, and Zela, Eleph, and Jubis, which is Jerusalem, Gibeath, and Kiriath, 14 cities with their villages. This was the inheritance of the children of Benjamin according to their families. So with that, I pray you edify. Shalom.